It's a beautiful day, February 24th, 1955.
Ooh, it's a boy!
Don't want him.
Yeah, we're like 23 and not married, so.
So we just take...
What do we do with a baby?
I mean, we have a garage.
Okay, team might have taken some creative liberties there, but I'm on a quest to figure out how an adopted baby thrown into a garage in Los Altos became the most important tech CEO of our time.
iPhone, MacBook Air,
Apple AirPods.
Apple Watch.
Do you know why people buy an Apple?
Because it's got bravado.
This guy put 1,000 songs in your pocket, a computer in your hand, and changed how we live, work, and think, and then he died for kind of a really silly reason. We'll get there. Let's get smart about this nonsense. All right, so to understand how Steve changed everything, we gotta start with where he came from. 1955, San Francisco. Steve Jobs gets born to these two college kids.
We can't keep him. We're not married. It's the 50s.
Yeah, having a baby out of wedlock, then super scandal. So they give him up to Paul and Clara Jobs, who adopt baby Steve. All right, kiddo, let me show you how to build stuff. See, Paul's a machinist who fixes cars for fun. And when they move to Los Altos, it's about to become Silicon Valley, but nobody knows that yet. So let's follow Steve to school. He's kind of a nightmare. Pulling pranks, gets suspended, just doesn't fit in.
This is boring. I'm bored.
Until this one teacher bribes him with $5 to do his homework. And it actually works, money. Then in high school, his buddies like,
Hey, yo, Steve, you gotta meet this guy.
Steve Wozniak, electronics genius, super nerd.
Dude, check this out. I built a thing that hacks phone lines so we can make free long-distance phone calls.
Wait, we could sell these. They make like $6 grand selling illegal phone devices. Jobs later said if they hadn't done that, there'd be no Apple. Okay, so 1976, the Steves decide to join forces. And Wozniak builds this, the Apple I. Technically a computer, but kinda just a circuit board. But Jobs sees something nobody else does.
Everybody's gonna want one of these. We just gotta make it not scary.
So they make the Apple II. It's got a keyboard, a screen, and shows color. Looks friendly, not like some government robot. They sell 6 million of these things. Their new company, Apple, goes public. They create 300 millionaires in one day. Steve Jobs is 25 and worth $250 million. Pause. Because at this point, you're probably like, okay, cool, smart guy, makes computers, knew that, got it. But Steve Jobs wasn't just smart. He had this thing people called the reality distortion field. This was Jobs' superpower. He could convince anyone that the impossible was possible. Here's how it works. Jobs would walk into a room and say something completely insane, like, we're gonna make a computer with no cooling fan that fits in a tiny case and ships in 6 months. And engineers would say, that's literally impossible, it'll overheat. And Jobs would just stare at them. He'd say, you're just not thinking different enough. Or don't be afraid, you can do this. And somehow people would do the impossible. They'd work 80-hour weeks, they'd invent new solutions, they'd ship the impossible product. But here's the thing about the reality distortion field. It only worked on other people, not himself. And that's gonna be important later on his deathbed. But first, we go back to Apple. Because just when everything's going great, Jobs' ego, his perfectionism, that reality distortion field's about to destroy everything. It's 1984.
Today, Apple is going to introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1981.
The Mac launches with the most famous Super Bowl ad of all time. But the Mac's too expensive, it's too slow, sales tank. So Apple's new CEO, this guy, John Scully, was like,
Steve, the Mac is failing. You're spending too much money.
Let's go, Daddy. You just don't understand the vision.
Jobs and Scully start fighting. The board has to choose between
It's him or me.
1985, Steve Jobs gets fired from Apple, the company he started in the garage his parents threw him into as a baby. So he starts a new computer company called Next, this square box thing. It's cool, but it costs 10 grand and nobody buys it. So Jobs is basically flailing, but then he does something quirky. He buys this little animation company from George Lucas for 10 million bucks. It's called Pixar, and Pixar needs powerful computing to develop their early animation tools, i.e. those expensive Next computers. So they do it, launching Toy Story, the biggest movie of 1995. Pixar goes public, Steve Jobs is suddenly a billionaire, but Apple's dying. They're weeks from bankruptcy.
We need to buy Next's operating system, and we need Steve back.
I'm back. 70% of your products, garbage. We're canceling them.
He fires 3,000 people, kills most of their projects, and focuses on one thing making Apple cool again. The iMac sells 800,000 units in 5 months. The iPod, 100 million sold. The iPhone changes everything.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Then the iPad. By 2011, Apple is worth $350 billion. Steve Jobs went from fired to one of the most successful CEOs in history. Okay, this is where things get a bit dark, because in 2003, right when Apple's on top of the world, Steve Jobs gets diagnosed with cancer. Pancreatic cancer, usually a death sentence.
About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and it clearly showed a tumor on my
But
pancreas.
here's the thing, and this is crucial. There are different types of pancreatic cancer. Most people get the deadly kind, the kind that kills you in months. But Steve Jobs had a neuroendocrine tumor. This type is super rare, but also super treatable. His doctors are like, Steve, if you get surgery now, you'll probably survive. This is totally curable. And this is where the reality distortion field that worked on everybody else completely failed for Steve. He refuses the surgery for 9 months, trying alternative medicine, special diets, acupuncture, herbal remedies, spiritual healers. His wife is begging him, his friends are begging him, the Apple board is begging him. Steve, get the damn surgery. And he does in 2004. But it's too late, the cancer spread. Over the next 7 years, we watch him deteriorate. Liver transplant in 2009, he gets skeletal, the turtlenecks get baggier. Before he died, he told his biographer, I really screwed up. I didn't want my body to be open. I tried to treat it in a way that I really regret now. The reality distortion field convinced everyone around him that the impossible was possible. But it also convinced him that he knew better than doctors, that he could cure cancer with willpower and alternative medicine. He couldn't. He died.
An American Edison has died.
Steve Jobs has died at the age of 56.
Apple co-founder, chief wizard, and former CEO Steve Jobs has died.
Steve was 56 years old. At the time of his death in 2011, Apple's worth $350 billion. Today, over $3 trillion. He revolutionized personal computers, music, movies, phones, tablets. He started in a garage as an adopted kid nobody wanted. Got fired from his own company, came back and built one of the most influential businesses of all time. Hey, post-edit Henry here. I want to show you something cool. Okay, so making this Steve Jobs video, there's like a million tiny tasks that slow us down. Good enunciation on task. Like, I'll finish filming this thing, then I gotta ping editor Ken, say hi Ken, in Slack about the edit, and then remember to follow up on thumbnail drafts with our thumbnail designer, and coordinate upload schedules with the team. So we're trying this tool called Lindy. I literally just tell it, yo, Lindy, manage my video production workflow. And it just built an entire AI agent that does all of it. It connects to all of our apps. So when I plop a new video in Notion, it hits up the team in Slack, gives them all the details, tracks deadlines, and makes sure we're ready for upload. Then you see it. Now, Lindy was nice enough to sponsor today's video. And apparently, they tell me, anything you can do on your computer, Lindy can just do for you. Like, yo, help me fix me calendar. Boom. Automatically schedule meetings based on when you're actually productive, block off focus time, and send follow-ups when people don't respond. Or plan my trip to Barbados. Flights, hotels, the beach that has turtles and stuff. So yeah, it's basically like you just tell Lindy what you want done and it figures out how to do it. Which is kind of what Steve Jobs made people do for him, but now you're Steve Jobs. You can try Lindy for free at go.lindy.ai/Henry. It's in the description. They'll give you $20 of free credits. Okay, see you next week.